Allah understand. So if a woman is divorced, and do we have to spend on them compulsorily? This matter is a very broad matter, and it's something that has to do with a lot of views from different scholars. Now, we are just going to streamline the answer to something that seems to be more correct, inshallah. So, as regards whether to spend on your wife after divorce, it depends on the how the divorce took place. Because when there is there are three divorces, right? When there is the first divorce, the woman has to observe her waiting period. She has to observe this waiting period in the house of the husband, and it's not permissible for her to leave or for her to be asked to leave. So if the husband says, "I divorce you," whether he says it 3 times at once, or he says it once the first time, whatever it is regarded as one, according to the most correct view of the scholars. Okay, it's regarded as one. So if that is the case, if she's divorced once, she is to spend some time in the house of the husband. That period is called the waiting period, the iddah, right? So she is to stay for that iddah period in the house of the husband. And she's not permitted to leave the house. Neither is it permissible for her to be forced to leave the house. She must be there. Okay? And that is the...
What if she's working? She will not go to work.
No, she should not go to work. She'll be staying in the house now. Now, she has to be staying in the house. This is the injunction of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Quran, Surah Al-Talaq, that if they are divorced, they should remain in their houses. Unless if it is an irrevocable divorce. Okay?
Which one is it?
The one that they cannot marry again. Meaning the third divorce. Either the third divorce or a kind of divorce that has to do with zina. When you are one of the spouses is accused of committing illegal sexual intercourse, that is adultery. That can result to an irrevocable divorce. So those kind of cases, when the divorce is irrevocable, then she leaves immediately. But if it is a revocable one, she has to remain in that house for the iddah period. Now, if during the waiting period, the husband can decide to take her in again, meaning how can he take her in? By either saying, "I take back my word," so you are not divorced again, or by having sexual intercourse with her. If he has intercourse with her, and the divorce is cancelled. However, that one still counts, that it has been pronounced once. If after 10 years, 20 years, he pronounces it again, that is number 2. Do you understand? So the third time you pronounce it, the marriage breaks. It becomes irrevocable. Now, if he decides to bring her in within the waiting period, he can bring her in. But if he decides not to bring her in, if he does not bring her in within the waiting period, on the last day of her third menstrual cycle, when she becomes clean and she takes her bath, then it means the iddah has ended. If the man does not bring her in before the iddah ends, that marriage is broken. So she can now go back home. Now, if the man must marry her again, they must enter into a new contract again and pay the dowry again before she can be married to him again. Yes.
She said she needs to remarry the person.
That is if it becomes irrevocable. If it is a third time. Do you understand? So if the man has to wait for the iddah to finish, then she goes back home. He has to remarry her, enter into a contract again. If they agree to marry each other, they pay the dowry again, and they get married.
What about if she goes back home? Is she entitled to return the first dowry?
Now, if it is, no, she's not. She's not entitled, except if she's the one that asks for divorce. Now, so if, in that case, if it is a revocable divorce, during the iddah period, her maintenance is still on the husband. The husband should maintain her, the husband should take care of her, the husband should give her everything that she needs, according to his capacity, whether he's wealthy or not. Then, if it becomes irrevocable, that she's leaving the house, that is another bigger issue. If she has children, right? If she does not have children, then there is no obligation upon the husband to take care of her. And he may decide to let her go without giving her anything. But if the man decides to give her something, it is fine. If they have not consummated the marriage, that means they not consummated the marriage before the husband pronounced divorce, right? In that case, then the husband may not give her anything because her dowry is still with her. But in the case that they are married, but she has not been given a dowry, because they can marry without giving her a dowry. They can go into a contract and say, okay, I'll give you your dowry in so and so time. Okay, now so they agree, they go into an agreement. When the time comes, he gives her the dowry. So if the dowry had not been stipulated, they have not agreed on the dowry, they have not given her a dowry, but they have been married and they have not consummated the marriage and divorce comes. If that is the case, then the husband, the wife does not have to return anything, and the husband may decide or may decide not to give her anything as a gift. So there is no obligation upon him, right? So he can decide to give her something, yes, as a gift. But if the marriage has been consummated, right? Maybe they have spent up to 1 year or a couple of months before the divorce. Then we say the woman does not have a dowry with her again. In that case, the husband is still not obligated to give her anything, but it is mustahab, meaning recommended, that he gives her a gift, a parting gift. Take. I hope you understand. Then, if she has children, or they both have children, and the children have to stay with the mother, depending on their agreement. If they have to stay with the mother, then in that case, he has to take care of the children. Meaning, yes, he has to provide shelter for the children. He has to provide food for the children. He has to provide education for them. He has to provide clothing for them and any other amenities they need. So in that case, since the mother is the one taking care of them, right, meaning the one staying with them, then she can demand to stay in the house the husband will provide for the children. And that's permissible. She can demand to stay in the house where the husband is taking care of the children, and the husband or the ex-husband is to pay the rent for the house. And she is not obligated to leave that house, even if her family give her an accommodation. Because the man can say, I don't want my children to stay there. So she's not obligated to leave. She's allowed to stay with wherever the children are. Then
What about if the children, if they are not for the man?
if they're not for the man, then he does not have any business with them. So the father of children must take care of the children. If there are any maybe electrical appliances in the house and the children need it, then he is obliged to maintain them. Maybe they get bad, he is obliged to maintain them. Do you understand? This is the obligation of the husband. So this is the meaning of the verse of Surah Al-Baqarah where Allah Ta'ala says, if they are divorced, then take care of them, maintain them, based on an agreed scale. I hope you understand.